Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be getting some stuff done around the house, working on a DIY and cooking some dinner and getting some homeschool done, all in this video. So right now we're starting off, it is the morning time and I am getting some laundry switched around and getting Berkeley set up with her kindergarten homeschool curriculum at the dining room table. So she's working on a worksheet and I am swapping some laundry around. And then I'm gonna sit down and we are working on some sight word stuff. So I was just working on laundry while she was working on things that she could do on her own and kind of multitasking on this morning.
Hey, you left me in the face when I said you could replace all of the things that you're so through with. You're afraid to feel your feelings when the night turns into day. But sometimes they're the realest things to ever come your way. 'Cause you know that you're more than just one voice. You can roll with all the boys through the noise. State your case and lead the way. 'Cause you know.
So it is a little bit later in the day now and I'm going to get started on a DIY project that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now and just have been putting it off because I do not like sanding stuff down and I knew this was going to be a big project. So I'm finally getting around to doing it, but Donnie is going to help me move the buffet out of our dining room to the back porch because I'm going to be working on doing a little makeover on it. But before I do that, I have this basket of our throw blankets I had pulled out of the dryer earlier in the day, so I'm going to get those folded and put away, and then I'm going to start in on this DIY project. So I'm just grabbing an extension cord from the garage and my sander. I purchased this on Amazon. I will link it for you guys. It's pretty basic, but I'm going to take those outside and then just wipe down the top of the buffet. I'm going to be working on sanding it down and refinishing the top in this video. Now I started off by sanding it down and there was a few layers of paint on this buffet. I've repainted it a couple of times just to get it like bright white, and it used to be kind of an off-white cream color. So there was quite a few layers and this sander was not doing the trick. I changed out the sandpaper multiple times and it was just not coming off very well. It was taking a lot of effort, so I ended up going a different route a little bit later on, actually the next day in this video, so you guys will see that soon. But a little bit of a backstory on my buffet and my dining room table. This buffet and the dining room table have been in my family for over 100 years. They were my great grandparents and then passed down to my grandparents, and then my grandma gave them to me when we moved into the first house that we purchased years ago. So they are very, very special to me. She gave me permission to refinish them when she gave them to me. So originally I painted the bottom part of the dining room table and then I painted the whole buffet. And I kind of wish I would have never painted the top part of this. I wish I would have just painted the bottom part of it. So that is why I am working on refinishing and restoring the top of it. I want it to look like it did when I got it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I can't wait for you guys to see the finished product, but I gave up on sanding because, like I said, it was taking a super, super long time. I mean, it took me like over an hour just to sand that one first part that I showed you guys. So I'm swapping around some more laundry, getting my cleaning rag started, and I'm taking a break from the DIY project, and I'm gonna get some laundry folded.
Love the way you say my name, and how I wanna feel my whole world with you and no one else. And now our love will make us so much better. There will be no more lonely nights. Baby, if you let me try, I give you what you want. Here comes the down times when you go blind. You say that I'm just wasting my time. You say you're too hard to handle and full of doubts. Say that I should give you up for someone better. But no, she's a roller coaster. Oh, she's a flame. I'm burning up inside, but I can feel no pain. I won't try to stop her. She can't be tamed. I'm so in love with her. I'm falling, try again.
All right, now this is the next day, and I'm taking some of this Smart Strip advanced paint remover and some scraping tools that I purchased on Amazon. They actually came in one day, so I was able to continue this project the next day. But as you can see, that's as far as I got sanding, and that took me over an hour just to do that one part, and it was so much work and my hands were numb, so I just ordered this stuff. It came in super fast, and you guys, it worked amazing. You guys will see here in a little bit how awesome this stuff works. But I'm just taking a foam paintbrush to be able to lay it on there, and then it's gonna soak on there, and it just kind of eats away at the paint and the finish that's under the paint also. So you guys will see here in a little bit that I'm gonna be able to scrape that off, but I'm just gonna layer that on there and then let it sit. So I went inside and I did homeschool with Berkeley and got some things done, and this sat on here for about an hour and a half, and then I took the scraper tool and it just slid right off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape off all of this that I can, and then there were some parts that were a little bit trickier to get off, like in the crevices and on the sides, like the corners are rounded and stuff like that, but I did my best to get off as much of this paint as I possibly could. And then as I was doing it, I kind of liked how some of the paint looked like in the cracks and crevices and stuff, so I decided to leave some of it to be able to have that like kind of like beat up rustic look. Like this is a very old piece of furniture, and I didn't want to perfect it. I didn't want to make the top like absolutely perfect. I wanted it to have flaws and blemishes, and I wanted it to look well loved because it is well loved. But I'm just using that scraper tool to get as much of that paint off as I can.
Side by side in your car in the backseat, wide awake is the way that you left me. Oh, now it's clear we are here back at your house, and I keep fading into the background. I'm wide awake now, you keep missing out for sure. Take down your walls and let me ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, brick by brick, now let me ooh, ooh, ooh. I wanna be right there by your side. I wanna be there, won't you be mine? Take down your walls and let me. Yeah, brick by brick, now let me. In my bed 5 to 12, wish I could sleep. Dream about all the ways you could reach me, but now you keep missing out on me.
After I got off as much as I could with that scraper tool, I went in with a sponge, some Dawn dish soap, the power wash. I actually just sprayed it all over the top of this buffet, and then some super hot water. So I've got my gloves on, and I am just using the sponge to get in the cracks, and that kind of helped scrape some more of the paint off, kind of like sandpaper, because that stuff had soaked on there, that paint remover had soaked on there, so the paint was kind of soft. So I was able to use the sponge to get that off. But then I needed to take a break and make some dinner because it was that time of day. So HelloFresh for the win. I was so busy working on this project, I did not want to have to like plan out a dinner. So HelloFresh always comes in so handy on those days where it's just so busy. I don't even have to think about dinner. I can just pull everything out of the fridge. I have all of my ingredients. They come pre-portioned and ready to just chop up and cook. The pre-portioned ingredients that come in your HelloFresh bags means less prep for you and less wasted food because you use absolutely everything that comes in there. You don't end up going to the store and buying like a whole thing of one spice and you only have to use like a tablespoon of it. So that is super nice. Another thing I love about getting HelloFresh is it definitely helps me break out of that recipe rut. I find myself cooking the same things every week, and HelloFresh changes it up and makes it easy to change it up. Using HelloFresh, it also cuts out stressful meal planning, like I said, and prepping, so I can actually enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes. They even have quick and easy options that help you get dinner on the table in 20 minutes. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you know you're gonna get something delicious. And let me just tell you guys that we've been using HelloFresh for about 3 years, maybe even longer. Honestly, it's been a long time since we were at the farmhouse. We have never once gotten a recipe that we didn't like. Even sometimes we look at the recipe cards and we're like, this is gonna be an interesting one. Like, it seems like something that we would totally not eat, and then we make it and we love it. My kids love HelloFresh. They get excited when the HelloFresh box comes in. Berkeley especially is always like trying to dig in there and see what recipes we got and helping me put stuff away. So it's fun for the whole family. We've been using it for years and years, even before I worked with HelloFresh, and we just really, really love getting it. And it makes cooking so much easier for me. You guys can go to HelloFresh.com and use the code CasperFresh14 to get 14 free meals plus free shipping. I will have all the info and a link in the description box for you guys so you can check that out. All right, now after dinner, I am back outside and I'm gonna work on this buffet and get it finished up. But once I was done cleaning it all before dinner, I sprayed it down, as you guys saw, and I got it all clean. Now I am going in with my sander again and just roughing it up some, distressing it, taking some sandpaper and going by hand around this detail at the top, and trying to get off as much paint as I could. But like I said, I decided to leave some of it on there and not try to perfect it, because I thought once I put the stain on that it would look really cool with some like paint and blemishes underneath the stain. And I'm so glad I did that because it turned out so good. But I'm just wiping it all down again, getting all of that dust off there from sanding, and we are gonna get ready to stain. So I am gonna grab my handy dandy staining gloves that I use every time I stain, and my handy dandy stain. So I'm using the Kona stain by Rust-Oleum. I've used this for so many different things in our house, but this is a stain I used to finish the top of our dining room table not that long ago. I sanded it down and used this stain to refinish the top. So I wanted them to match. Whenever Donnie has old t-shirts that he's not wearing anymore, they go out to the garage and they get cut up to be shop rags. So whenever I'm staining, I just grab one of those and use that to put my stain on. So I'm just dipping it in, a little bit goes a long ways, rubbing it in, and then making sure there's no excess like sitting on there. So I rub it in really good, buff it in there, and then I'm just going to continue doing that on all the surfaces here and make sure that everything is covered the way that I want it to be covered.
You're my type, sweet, and you care about my night. But I'm sobering up, and this moment's past. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be tucked in someone else's arms, 'cause my heart just broke and I need my time. Wanna speak so loud even though I hide, like I'm hypnotized, can't get out of here. You don't know me, I just need my time. Yeah, but they say I don't know where you come from.
Now about an hour later, I am going in with my polyacrylic. So this is by Minwax and it's a satin finish, and I'm just taking an old paintbrush and I'm going to apply this on here in a thin coat. I did not want it to be super thick and shiny, so I only did one coat of the poly just for a little protective barrier.
I need some time alone.
Once I was done getting all the poly put on there, we let it sit outside for a couple of hours until it was dry to the touch, and then we brought it into the house to finish drying overnight. And then the next morning I styled it, and I'm going to give you guys a look at the finished product here in the house with it all styled. So this is a little before shot, and then this is the finished product. I am so happy, you guys. This literally makes my heart so happy seeing the top of the buffet like this. This brings back so many memories from my whole entire childhood. The memories I have of this furniture in my grandparents' house when I was a kid, it makes me so happy to see it looking like it did when I was a kid. Even with the little touches of paint on there, I just love the whole vibe of this. It feels like home to me, and it matches the top of the dining room table now. So I am very happy with how this turned out. It was a bigger project than I anticipated, but I am so happy that I finally took the plunge and I did it. And I love how worn and loved it looks, and it honestly just looks like it did when I was a kid and when I first got it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this DIY makeover. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!